Okay, a few more minutes and I'm just going to roll with it. Come on, come on, come on, come on, people. Join me, join me. Hope y'all can hear me pretty good. Oh, excuse me. This tea may be making me sweat, but it's good for my throat right now. Okay, we're about to kick it off, y'all. You want me to do a drum roll? Best as I can do right now. Okay, let's do this. Y'all can't hear that TV. Yeah, okay. Welcome to my first live. Girl, back up from the camera. I was finna do something. That's why I was in position. Hold on. Y'all know I do Facebook. Welcome, 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 welcome to my first YouTube live video. Cause she weighed 3 pounds, Joe, and she be shaking. She be cold. She got a little shake going on. Thank you, Angel. Thank you. Thank you, Angel. But welcome, welcome, welcome to my YouTube channel. My first of many to my first for YouTube, my first live video. So thank you, thank you, thank you. This month is neck cancer awareness, but they have only designated one day. Yes, she is. That's what y'all say. She ain't. They have only designated one day for neck cancer. And my goal this year for myself and my family, and for those that come in contact with me, with my family, to make everybody aware of neck cancer. So this month, if you would please wear your zebra print. Zebra print is the color ribbon for neck cancer. So if you have a bracelet, you have a hat, you have a pin or something, earrings, socks, shoes, zebra print shoes. If y'all have some zebra print shoes, flats, or a heel about that wide, that high, I need a size 10. Send them my way. I love shoes. I love shoes. Pretty, sexy shoes too, and tennis shoes. Anyway, let's get on to the thing that's at hand. So, as I was saying, this month is November, second day of November. Happy birthday to my oldest brother. He's the big 60 today. Y'all, wait a minute. Wait a minute. Wait. They they leaning a little bit. I didn't sit on them, did I? Nobody would. Yeah, I know. I feel them. They wasn't sitting right. I can see. I can see. But they wasn't sitting right. So happy birthday to my oldest brother. He's the big 6-0 today. Thank God for him and for his life and for him making it to 6-0. Shout out to my brother Lou Willie. Yeah. But this month is November, the month that they have designated for neck cancer. And again, they've only designated one day for neck cancer. So my goal is to bring awareness to my circle and prayerfully that it will extend out this month to bring awareness to neck cancer, the disease that the rare cancer that I was diagnosed with in 2018. They say this cancer is very rare and incurable. And I have some papers, y'all, I want to read off. I'm going to be looking at my paperwork because I don't want to say anything wrong while I'm giving information about the cancer. So if I'm one woman production, I'm reading off the paper. Yeah, this how I'm gonna do it. So I get my assistant at my side. Yeah. Neck cancer. What is neck cancer? Neuroendocrine tumors. Um, it's a very rare form of cancer that it's neuroendocrine tumors is a is neck cancer formed in cells that interact with the nervous system or in the glands that produce hormones. These cells, called neuroendocrine cells, can be found throughout the body, but nets are most often found in the abdomen, especially in the gastrointestinal tract. These tumors may also be found in the lungs, pancreas, and adrenal glands. Nets are rare, complex, and may be difficult to diagnose. So, taking me back to 2018 and prior to 2018, with what I just read to you, saying neck cancer is rare and it can be misdiagnosed. So, for years, I had years, going back maybe 20 years or more, I had issues with my stomach, and I was diagnosed with IBS, um, acid reflux, and I had gone and had colonoscopy, several colonoscopies done, and it ruled out everything except for the the acid reflux and the IBS. No, the doctors that I was with at the time had no idea what neck cancer was, from my understanding, when I asked questions about it once I was diagnosed. So nobody knew what was going on with me. Yeah, they was telling the girl she was a little. That's what some of them say. That's what some of them say. I, I, I'm special in a special way because I'm just that special person. But the doctors are quick to tell you it's in your head, and I, I I started thinking like that. Maybe the last 10 years, maybe the last 10 years before I was diagnosed, I knew something wasn't right, and sometimes you can get stuff in your head to where it does manifest in your body, but as it's manifesting and you know it's there, then you know this ain't just in my head, but maybe it is. They keep saying there's nothing wrong and they run tests, but you know your body. I knew my body, and it's good to be your own advocate for yourself because in my case, they didn't know, and they were relying on the test. So jumping up to 2010, I was working and I had lost, I had started having problems with my stomach again, just the pain, a lot of the um gas and discomfort, and not being able to eat as much. I'm not a big eater anyway, but not except for when it comes for sweets. Girl, brother, I love me some sweets. But I couldn't eat a full meal without my stomach blowing up and pain. And I I had gone to the doctor back in 2010. They did another colonoscopy. Still didn't find anything but the reflux. And that time they ruled out IBS and didn't say anything about IBS. But I was still having these issues, and I had lost maybe 15 pounds in a matter of, say, maybe 2 months. But to me, my weight was coming off unhealthy because I knew how I was not eating, and my weight was just going off. But it was just falling off because I wasn't eating, not because I was purposely trying to lose weight. And this last doctor that I had, when he did the colonoscopy, said, he talked real bad to me, y'all. Why these doctors do that to folks? Why? As my mom would say, their bedside manner. Some of them have the worst bedside manner. No compassion for a person, especially when you've gone to several doctors and they've done these tests and they can't find anything. But you still going to the doctor and they getting paid. Why they tripping? Anyway, I saw this doctor, y'all, and he told me that there was nothing wrong with me. I could stand to lose more weight. Head turned to the side of him, and he said, if I was your doctor, I would have you on this many calories and have you not eating this and have you not eating that. And my head was just tilted to the side listening to him. I almost cried. He was hurting my feelings. He was hurting my feelings, and he was making me feel that something was wrong with me. Appeared that what I was there for was not happening because the test showed that there was nothing there. So, y'all, I will fire a doctor in a minute. Yeah, I will. So y'all know my head was tilted when I left his office, and while he was sitting there telling me what he would have me on and what he wouldn't have me eating and what he would have me eating. He would not see me ever again. And he hasn't. So I left there and went home and made some minor changes to my diet, and my stomach improved. And that's how I would do. I would go 3, 4, 5 months and be free from pain, free from any kind of bloating, any kind of reflux or anything. Stomach would be just as flat as I don't know what. And next month or so after that, say if I've gone 6 months, and that seventh month will come, I will blow up and start having pain again. And I didn't realize at the time, back in 2010, stress, stress was the trigger. Um, when I would have those bouts of not having any symptoms, and then all of a sudden they will pop up. So when I became mindful of that, I started working on how to deal with my stress. And even though I still haven't mastered dealing with stress, but I'm dealing with it better. Um, and I didn't have the help back then that I have now, and I'm thankful for that. But made some adjustments with my life and my eating, and I got better. So 20 that was in 2010. 2016, I was working and I was having pain in my shoulders, and my stomach started to flare up again. So 2017, I went off work for surgery for one shoulder. 6 months later, I went in for surgery on my other shoulder. At the end of 2 months after I had my second surgery, I was preparing to return to work. And the end of that second month of me preparing to return to work, my stomach started to flare up again and weight fell off just like that. 28 of 20 between 28, 30, 31 pounds fell off in starting in October to December. I was down that that fast. Well, in October, I had gone to the doctor, to my primary doctor. I was all well from my shoulders, and I had gone to my primary doctor because my stomach started to flare up. And at that time, I had switched to a new primary doctor. She was a younger doctor, fresh, not fresh, but newly out of school. She was fresh in the practice that I was in. That's why I chose her and switched from my old doctor. But went in and the same complaint. And by that time, I started having a horrible pain in my right side that would not go away. And all the time I was losing weight and my stomach was hurting. And I was having what y'all I thought were hot flashes, just horrible. And my face would just get beet red, and I was having issues with my breathing off and on. And they were saying it was allergies. Had gone through allergy testing. They were saying it was allergies, and I had all that going on. Went to see her, and the pain was so severe. I was balled up on the table while she was trying to examine me. Well, she felt my stomach and my right side, and she said she could feel a knot. So from there, she sent me to get uh, an ultrasound of my stomach. When they 2 days later, I had the ultrasound did, and they called me back into the doctor's office and said they were referring me to a specialist. They wouldn't even tell me what for. They just said that they found something that required a specialist, and they were sending me to a specialist. So got me to a specialist, and he did. I went to his office. He did work in. Um, he did some work in another doctor that was this first gastroenterologist that they referred me to. He wasn't very he had bad bedside manner. I'm trying to find a good word, but he was just cold. And I was by myself, and there was some things I was going through. I was by myself. And then that man called me into his office, and he just said, I have, we found something on your scans, and I have news that's not too good. And I'm like, what is it? And he said, it's cancer. Just like that. It's cancer. I just froze. I'm hearing him, but I'm not hearing him. He said, cancer? I was no good. And I was by myself. And all he did was told me, he patted my leg and said, you need to get yourself together because there's some other things we need to talk about. We need to get you scheduled for testing and get you to another specialist. I'm boohooing. I'm trying to get this out of my head of he just said cancer. Next thing I know, he walked out of the room and I was just left all alone boohooing. He didn't try to console me or nothing. And his nurse came in and there was comfort from her. She held my hand and she walked me out to the desk when they started uh, getting me signed up to see a specialist. And she said, you're going to be fine. And y'all, they got me set up with wherever I needed to go to next. And I walked to my car, and it was just a blur. And I sat in my car, seemed like forever, and I don't even remember driving myself home, walking into my apartment. But I remember just being out on the floor and just boohooing. And I didn't talk to anyone for 2 days. In that 2 days, I talked to my children and told them, and told my parents 2 days later, but I told my parents at two separate times. And I wanted to just tell everybody at one time because I didn't want to keep repeating cancer, cancer, cancer. And when we got past me sharing with everybody, testing started. They just took me fast. Testing started, and again had to go back to the first gastroenterologist, and he came out and he confirmed that it was cancer, but he told me the kind of cancer that it was. And when I was laying on the bed, and he was talking to us, I told my daughter, I said, I don't like him. She said, don't worry, Mom. We're going to find you another doctor. 2 days later, she had me with another gastroenterologist and went to see this doctor. Loved him. Completely different attitude, personality, and everything. More care and concern. Did testing with him. Came back a week later after the test, a week later after the testing, he confirmed again that it was the cancer that the first doctor told me about. From being told by the second doctor and accepting that this is what they say is going on. So where do we go next? Moving on from there, um, got connected with an oncologist at Baylor in Dallas. And from there, got connected up with the surgeon. And the surgeon, the nutritionist, the psychiatrist, all of them. And everything was just going so fast, but I was still in pain and I just wanted that pain over. Um, had to change my diet completely change my diet too, and stick exactly to what they told me to eat because they were still testing, and some of the food that I was eating was affecting the tumor, and some of that food could show up on the scans as more cancer. So a lot of foods I had to cut out, and I did that, and my weight was still coming off. Going through all of that, and it's like when they tell you it's cancer, and you realize that this is what's going on. It's like you just really start shrinking. In my case, that's what I felt like I was doing. And that I kept looking at myself and I'm like, I'm wasting away. And I saw sickness and it scared me And I knew that I had to fight, and I knew that my children, my parents, and my grandchildren were looking at me, and I knew I had to be strong, even when I was afraid, because I knew they were looking at me. 2 weeks after that second diagnosis, his voice spoke to me and said that this sickness is not unto death. And that's where I gained my strength from. That's where I gained greater hope. That's where my faith was increased, even with the scary moments, even with the testing going on, even when the doctor's saying they can't do this, they're going to have to do that, or they have to do this because it's that and it's not this. Um, that voice gave me strength, and that helped me get through. After the the doctors had got me hooked up with the surgeon and surgery was set, it was like, whoa, this is really happening. This is really something going on with me. Got all of that taken care of, and got scheduled for surgery. Went in and had surgery. Stayed in the hospital longer than expected because I gotten sick, and later found out that there was chemo that the doctor had put a little bag inside of my incision where he removed the cancer. And back up a little bit, the the cancer had, by the time they found out that it was cancer, it had spread to my liver, and it originated in my lower intestines, and that's the where it this type of cancer normally originates from. So um, when they found out that it was cancer, it had spread to my liver, and that put me in stage 4. And when they say stage 4, you know, how much longer do I have? And when they tell me that once you're diagnosed and they stage you, that's where you stay for life. And because there was no cure and it was very rare, I was scared even more once again. But I began to educate myself with all that's going on, and just being so overwhelmed and trying to make sure I know what's going on, even when I don't have somebody to help me understand, and be that sounding board for me when I'm there and I can't say anything. But I made it through and had the big surgery. Stayed in the hospital longer than expected because the chemo made me sick. And there was a chemo pack in my stomach that the doctor left in there. And it later dissolved, but I was sick from that. And when I left out of the hospital, I went in small, shrinking. I shrank even more. And I didn't like how I looked even more when I left out of the hospital. I was scared in there because I couldn't eat. I really couldn't eat then. And stuff would, the more I tried to eat, the more it would come up. And the doctor couldn't understand why I was getting sick. But when they realized that it was from the medicine, they did what they needed to do to get me better. And within, I think, like 7 days, I was released to go home, and the recuperating phase started, and stayed with my mom for a couple of weeks until I was able to get some strength, and then I was ready to go home to my own self house. Yes, I was. They didn't want me to go. But I was ready to go to my own self house and my own self bed, and then just to start taking care of me. Uh, so thankful for mother. So thankful for my mother, that God allowed her the strength, even in her sickness at the time, and being strong enough to take care of me the way she did. So thankful for that. But I was able to go home and start the healing process on my own. Made it through. Went back to the doctor 6 months later. They did scans. Still found cancer on the liver. Back up a little bit. When they did the surgery, they had to remove a portion. They had to remove a portion of my lower intestines. They removed my ovaries. They removed my gallbladder and um, uh, uh, a portion of my liver, and all those things except my ovaries aid with my digestion. So now that's why I'm having issues that I have still, and besides the cancer still being there. But all that stuff was removed, and they removed the ovaries and the gallbladder because the cancer can affect those organs as well. So while he had me open, and we decided this before going into surgery, so I wouldn't have to go back. While he had me open, he went ahead and removed those organs, so I wouldn't have to have major surgery again at another time if it came to that. So came home recuperating from surgery, and 6 months later went back. They found more cancer on the liver. From there, had to go through testing all over again, and they started me on a octreotide, which is a hormone therapy. And at one time, I was still getting uh, medicine through an IV, and I had to get the iron because they kept saying I was bleeding internally, but they never found out what was causing the blood, causing me to lose the blood, causing me to bleed to lose the blood. So I had to do that for a minute, and my numbers went up from there, and they stopped that medicine, but I still had to continue on with the octreotide treatment. And because the neck cancer, the tumors are a slow growing tumor, the treatment that I'm currently on helps keep the tumors um, from growing rapidly, and it helps manage the symptoms, which when I said earlier how I was having the flushing, or what they said were, I thought were hot flashes, I learned that that was flushing, and would turn beet red. That was one of the signs of the symptoms of the cancer. So the treatment that I'm currently on helps with those symptoms and helps to keep the cancer from growing. Remember, they say there's no cure for the cancer, and all they can do is treat the symptoms and keep help slow the cancer down, which it's already a slow growing cancer. So go back when I said all in the beginning, all I have been having issues with my stomach for years, 20 plus years. The cancer was there, so I was told, just growing at a slow pace, like they say this cancer is. So got that done, and I'm currently. They said I would be taking the treatments for life, and all they could do was give me a whole bunch of medicine besides the treatment to help me with the symptoms and to keep the cancer growing at a slow pace. And that was in 2018. And up to this moment, I'm still doing the octreotide. And I just had, I do the octreotide every 4 weeks. I just had a 6 week checkup, and I just had a 6 week checkup last Monday. Yeah, last Monday. I had to look at my date. Last Monday, I will see my oncologist on the 9th for my follow up for my lab results. I'm still waiting on one test to come in. Oh, back up a little bit. A year after I started the octreotide, they did a scan, and this scan showed spots on my lungs. They said that they are benign, but they're going to keep a watch on them. But it's possible, they say they're benign, but they say it's possible that it's related to the cancer. Go figure that. But I ain't worried about it. As long as I can breathe pretty good, I'm good. And uh, again, my father told me that this sickness is not unto death. And no matter what comes or no matter what goes, when things come, do they scare me? Yes, especially when there's a new pain, especially when my numbers are a certain, uh, my numbers are not at a certain number that they need to be. Those things alarm me. I ask questions. I do research and I read and educate myself to find out what's going on and why, and help things make sense to me. And that's where I am now, waiting for a one last test result to come through and to see my doctor, my oncologist, on November 9th. I will see my surgical oncologist, which they have me seeing him once a year because the tumors are still there. I'll see him Friday, November the 4th. Yeah, I'll see him Friday, just for my yearly checkup with him. But uh, I'm making this video tonight to bring awareness to neck cancer, to stand and say that I am healed. I'm just walking through to my miracle, to my miracle being manifested, and it is well with my soul. Um, be your own advocate. When something's not right with you in your body, be your own self advocate. If you need to go from one doctor to another, not don't let anybody say that it's not so when you know that it's something. And be careful when you're on the internet reading stuff, because it can overwhelm you and it can scare you. But educate yourself with enough, not overloading yourself with too much to where you're fearful. I've learned that um, healing starts in the mind, and you speak those things that be not as though they were. I'm speaking that I'm healed because I know I am, and I'm walking through to get to my manifested miracle. My from being diagnosed with this cancer, I started a nonprofit organization, and it is for His glory, Prissy's journey and purpose. When I was diagnosed with this, and I had to switch from one hospital to another one. When I went to the second hospital, I walked in on that floor for my first visit, and it was just a big room with people, and all I could see and feel and smell was sickness, and it scared me. Remember, I said things do scare me and concern me. And I had to go back a second for my second visit. And the second visit I was there, I said, Lord, I know what they told me. Why am I here? What is my purpose here? And from that is where my nonprofit was birthed and started. And I'm still on this journey. I invite you all to join with me as I walk through this time, as I learn more about neck cancer, as I uh, tell more about my story. My goal is to encourage those that are walking through not just neck cancer, but cancer itself, that there is hope and God is able. Um, it increases your faith. It has increased my faith. It has drawn me closer to my Father. It has made me stronger and wiser. I'm not saying that I'm perfect, because I'm not. I still make mistakes. But walking through what I'm walking through, I'm so thankful for where I am at this very moment. I'm thankful that I know who I am and whose I am. I'm thankful that I shall live and not die from this sickness, and that I am covered by the blood. Um, I welcome you to walk this journey with me. I've started this channel to help bring awareness to the cancer and to encourage myself. Number one, when I was recuperating, I was introduced to YouTube, and there were a lot of channels on there that encouraged me. And people just started to tell me to, you should do a YouTube channel. She ain't doing that. She ain't doing it. She didn't even want to do a Facebook page, but she is here now. She meaning me, her, this lady, Prissy Renee. So I welcome you to journey with me on Prissy's journey, because I am Prissy Renee. Uh, I will continue to do videos, and as I do videos about my journey, I will include information about my nonprofit organization. I will include information, more information about neck cancer as I'm learning and walking through it. I'm waiting for. I'm excited about my appointment coming up on the 9th, because there's some information that I have been given, and some things that I were told about concerning the cancer that I'm excited to find out about. I'll be sharing all that with you, and uh, I I'm excited about what God has done, what He's doing, and what He's going to do through me. I'm not bragging on me. I'm bragging and boasting on my Father. I'm just the vessel that has yielded to Him. So thank you guys for your time tonight. Thank you for your love, your prayers, and your support. Remember to hit that like button. I have hit that like button and subscribe. I got to get good with that. I have included my Instagram information, and will be including my Facebook information. And y'all, remember, wear your zebra print for the month of November. They only give one day for neck cancer, but my goal is to make this whole month on my end and with my circle to reach others and educate them about neck cancer as I'm still learning myself and walking through this journey. But wear your zebra. Wear your zebra. Why zebra? Because that's the color for neck cancer. What is neck cancer? Neuroendocrine tumors. We'll be sharing more information with you about that. You can go on my Facebook page. There's a information about the cancer. I'm working on putting that on the YouTube channel as well. But again, thank you for joining me tonight. Thank you for your love, your prayers, and your support. I look forward to you being on this journey with me, Precedes a Journey. And y'all, this Saturday, November 5th, that's Neck Cancer Day nationally. That's Neck Cancer Day. But every year since 2019, I've been doing a neck cancer walk. And this is the fourth year doing it. And I'm just blown away that we're doing it again. So uh, send your support my way. Thanks for your love, your support, and your prayers. But looking forward to sharing more with you about my journey. Thanks again. Be blessed tonight. Angel, I love you to the moon and back. Peace, y'all. I'm out.